West of Palliser, the Kicking Horse River Valley narrows, and the mountain slopes rise directly from the river, with steep cliffs on either side. 5 bridges were required to cross the Kicking Horse River, and, if one counts the Corey Brothers Tunnel, 5 tunnels were required for the railway to reach the Columbia River. Prior to construction of the railway, the trail in the lower Kicking Horse River Valley traversed the steep mountain slopes, 500 to 600 feet above the river, where a man or horse could easily lose their footing and plunge hundreds of feet. One treacherous 6-mile section became known as the Golden Stairs. After Major Albert Bowman Rogers discovered Rogers Pass in 1881-1882, Van Horn, the general manager of the Canadian Pacific Railway, had reservations about the proposed route. While Van Horn didn't doubt that the pass existed and that Rogers had traversed it, he still wondered whether the man's rough wilderness eyeballing of the mountains would prove practical for a railway or be more suited as a packhorse trail. The railway contract with the Government of Canada stipulated a grade of not more than 2.2%, and Van Horn wanted to ensure, before millions of dollars were spent, that Rogers wasn't just being optimistic or prideful, since these characteristics had been evident in his personality on other occasions. Accordingly, he hired Stanford Fleming, who had been chief engineer of the railway from the commencement of the exploratory surveys in 1871 until 1880, and had originally proposed the now rejected line running through the Yellowhead Pass. Fleming agreed to traverse both the Kicking Horse Pass in the Rocky Mountains and the Rogers Pass in the Selkirk Mountains, and give an opinion of the newly proposed route. When Fleming reached the lower Kicking Horse River Valley, he described the Golden Stairs as follows. The trail is narrow, so narrow that there is scarcely a foothold. Nevertheless, we have to follow for some miles this thread of gravel slides at a giddy height. To look down gives one an uncomfortable dizziness, to make the head swim and the view unsteady, even with men of tried nerve. I do not think I can ever forget this terrible walk. It was the greatest trail I ever experienced. We are from 500 to 800 feet high, on a path of from 10 to 15 inches wide, and at some parts almost obliterated, with slopes above and below us so steep that a stone would roll into the torrent in the abyss below. There are no trees or branches or twigs which we can grip to aid us in our advance on the narrow and precarious footing. I never wish to take such another walk again, daring not to look down. It seems as if a false step would have hurled us to the base with certain death. The last tunnel on the lower Kicking Horse River was Holt Tunnel, built by Herbert Samuel Holt, a construction contractor on the mountain section of the line. While traversing the Golden Stairs in 1883, he slipped and fell from his horse. He escaped death when he landed belly down on a tree that overhung the canyon.